Those three things alone, right? They know that immediately. In Beijing CDC is telling her, hey, we know we got a problem, and we got it in Wuhan, around the P4 lab, right? They already got 40 cases, but if you got 40, that means you're going to have 40,000, right? Oh, yes. And we can't talk about the 40 because the only talk about 27 because the 40 of them, only 27 can be associated to the wet market, and we got to keep attached to the wet market because that'll get the thing off the lab.
That's the narrative. Yeah.
That's the narrative. So they've already crafted. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Yan. They're already coming up with the crafting of the narrative even in December. Is that correct?
Yes. One more thing I want to remind that actually from the cases, there are people who have no contact to other patients and also no history to seafood market. So
that's another. In litigation, in litigation, they call that a bad fact,
which
right.
Also implies that there was community transmission going on already, and they denied that reality.
I don't want to jump around too much, but you just bring up a great point. And Jack Maxey has pulled up the World Health Organization, and we don't want to kick a beaten dog like a World Health Organization, but this is critical to what the mainstream media, why the Democrats can't come out to vote on election day. They've traumatized their base because they will not go back and look at the facts like adults. He's got their critical path up, the World Health Organization. Dr. Yan, you're telling me that a scientist associated, we don't want to give his name out, associated with the Beijing CDC told you on early January that there was human-to-human transmission and community spread.
Yes.
The World Health Organization sent out a press release on January 12th, followed by a tweet on January 14th, while a delegation of senior cadre of the Chinese Communist Party is in the East Wing of the White House, signing the first phase of the trade deal. And they come out and say, after consultation with senior members of Chinese health authorities, there is no human-to-human transmission or community spread. So, Dr. Yan, how could that? What is that? That's either a bald-faced lie, or WHO. Did they not get the correct information from you, the Hong Kong lab? Because you guys are the reference lab, aren't you? The check. How did they get so missed? How did they? You were told in January 1st or 2nd, yet on the 12th and 14th, they're telling the world nothing to worry about here.
They know it, of course, but they're scared of Chinese Communist Party. For example, Dr. Liu Peng, he directly after the 2nd January, contact my friend in CDC directly, and he told me later that you get out of this investigation for a while from the 3rd January. Is that because it's dangerous and the China government doesn't want us to talk about it, so I won't tell you more about the information. I said, okay. And then they are obedient to China government's policies. China government doesn't want people to talk about it, and they want people just listen to their statement. That's why the WHO later said there is no case, and all their statement is the same, as what China government said. And also behind that, there is benefit, of course.
The last time you were on the show, you dropped kind of a bomb. I believe you said that Dr. Pierce had traveled to Wuhan in early January. Can you explain that a little bit better or more clearly?
Before Wuhan got locked down, he went to the mainland China, and he went to Wuhan at least twice, secretly.
He went to Wuhan actually secretly, and that
not for fun, definitely.
Right, and Malik Pierce is a World Health Organization physician. Am I correct? He is
consultant. I think is he a consultant or actually part of the World Health Organization?
He's the top guy behind Dr. Tedros, behind the technical officer, director in the COVID-19 team, the Dr. Maria. He's the one behind that.
There's no doubt in your mind. I want to make sure we're clear about this. Is there any doubt in your mind that senior members of the World Health Organization knew the facts, or was the CCP so lying to them that they would not know the facts? When they put out that press release and when they put out that tweet on the 14th and the press release on the 12th, were they misled, or did they actually understand something was going on and they just lied along with the CCP?
I mean, they are the one who's put to that position, so I'm sure they are not stupid, right? So definitely they know all the things, and the people provide information to them, Professor Liu Peng and Professor Malik Paris and other people from China side, and those people also know what happened. And these people, they work all together very well. It doesn't like some stupid behavior and know nothing.
I want to go back. We got a couple of minutes left in this segment, but I want to go back to the second thing you said about that. They actually never put forward. I want to go to this time. We got about a minute. They didn't actually put the correct genome up, but then they realized they had a problem. They pulled that back. It gets a little complicated. Explain it to the audience what they did about putting out the correct genome sequence and then trying to cover it up.
And
okay,
Dr. Yan, go slow, because I know this is technical, okay, but take it slow. We got time.
Okay, briefly, so on 10th January, China government said they have the sequence of the genome of the virus in Wuhan. And then they publish it from the NIH, the gene bank, which is the biggest database on such pathogens, DNA sequence in the world. And they post it there on 12th January, so we can check it. And my husband checked it immediately, and he realized there were some error things happen. So those errors are very unusual because the virus genome is basically like our fingerprint. It's like you check it like you take photo. So you upload it there. Maybe there will be some gap or something, but there should be not such error. Make you cannot find the family of them, cannot have any the hint to find their family. But 2 days later, they changed the version to version 2 and clearly mentioned on website that it's replaced or removed the version 1, which is also very unusual. And at that day, I checked
Dr. Yan, hang on a second. We're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to come back to this. This is very important about the genome sequence because you can't really get to a vaccine unless you know what you're working with. Okay. Short commercial break. War and pandemic. The most important 2 hours of your media life is going on now as you find out how this virus started.